impeachment case is not a criminal case. You don't need proof beyond reasonable doubt. Not like a criminal case, no? Kung sa sandigan ito, kung may 1% doubt, walang conviction yan. But this is an impeachment court. You don't even need that quantum of evidence. You don't even need preponderance of evidence. No? You just need to show that the evidence is strong. That would make a reasonable mind convict or acquit. Ganun lang yan. Hindi rin civil case na, hindi naman kinokolekta yung 165 million na misappropriate ng VP, no? That is for another day and another court. This is an impeachment court. So mas madali ang quantum of evidence.
Opo. Yeah, I understand that very clearly. Kaso that same point can also be used by some senator judges as an excuse to vote one way or the other. Let's say for acquittal. Sabi nila, wala namang napatunayan At ito yung sinasabi ng konsensya ko. And because of the very political nature of an impeachment trial, they also have a lot of elbow room to make such decisions, don't you think?
Yes, I totally agree. If the evidence could be appreciated either this one way or another, it is the nature of the evidence. For instance, kung ang Article 1, kung ang nag-threat mismo, yung threat mismo or yung pag-hire ng assassin ay galing mismo sa bunganga ng isang VP Sara. There is no splicing, it was her own recording. She admitted by her own admission. Was she forced? Was there a gun to her head? Were the circumstances such that she was under threat? So, it is the nature of the evidence. Kagaya ng confidential funds. Okay? Yung paggamit ng confidential funds. Res ipsa loquitur, the evidence will speak for itself. It is such that kung meron kang disbursement, dapat may tumanggap. So, ang mga pinakita sa listahan, fictitious names. So, how will you even interpret that kind of evidence when it only points to one? It is fraudulent. It is invented. It is fictitious. Saan ka nakakita ng pare-parehong signature? Nawala namang record sa Statistics Office of Birth, no? So, Christian, to your point of, it can be interpreted because of the quantum of evidence in favor of the prosecution or in favor of the defense. I disagree. I disagree because of the nature of the evidence itself. It speaks for itself. Extrajudicial killings. There are bodies that are buried. There is a Human Rights Commission report that about 300,000 victims were killed. Not only during the time of the past president, but the killing fields remained during the time of VP Sara when she was mayor. In fact, there is clear evidence. It cannot be interpreted any other way. Precisely, that is why victims, families are speaking out. You cannot have perjured testimony of 300,000 or even 60,000 kung yun ang official records. You cannot have perjured. Hindi ka makakakuha, hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na yung 60,000 pamilya na yan na nagkaroon ng extrajudicial killing na victim, lahat ginawa ng false statements. So, again, to your point, the evidence will speak for themselves. Yung Article 3, bribery. Article 2 is confidential funds. Article 3 is bribery. May mga nagsabing nakatanggap sila ng envelope na may pera. That by itself speaks for itself, di ba? How will you interpret it any other way if not as a bribe? Di ba? So yung mga ganyang nature of the evidence will be such that if you interpret it regardless of how the evidence shouts at your face, is in your face, if you still think that it should result in acquittal, sasabihin ko na rin, nabaliw ka na rin.
Eto, attorney, no? Do you honestly believe that people like Robin Padilla, Bato de la Rosa, Bongo, very, very loyal to the Dutertes, would decide for conviction once they see that kind of evidence that you're talking about? Or based on their pronouncements, in denial sila Diba? Sa kanilang pronouncements about EJ case under the drug war. In particular, si Bato. So, even if the evidence is strong or the prosecution's case is strong, do you honestly believe that people like them would decide based on the evidence?
Politics is politics. And politics, people vote on the basis of self-interest. Self-interest. There are no permanent friends, there are no permanent enemies. They will decide on the basis of self-interest. Is it to their self-interest to acquit when the evidence is strong? Is it to their self-interest to betray public trust? Is it to their self-interest to ignore the rule of law, due process, and justice? If they think that it's to their best interest, then yes, my answer is yes. They will vote to acquit. So, nasa self-interest nila. But if the senators run on the basis of kami ay para sa taong bayan, kami ay para sa public interest, and yet they vote in terms of their own self-interest. And then, taong bayan na ang mag-judge sa kanila. As I said, this impeachment is not a judgment on the Vice President. It is a judgment as well on the integrity of the entire Senate as an impeachment court. Will justice still prevail in this situation? Yun lang naman. In fact, telling yung sinabi niya Bongo was number one crossing party. Senator Bongo. No? Telling yung sinabi niya, thank you siya. In fact, if I recall right, he said, let's move on. Let's forget about politics and move on. His desire was just to continue serving the people. Thanking and continuing serving them. Now, we'll see. Those also who have ambitions of wanting to run in the next presidential elections, where will they vote? Kasi pag politics ang pinag-uusapan, nothing is set in stone. They will sink or swim depending on where their interest lies. And sana naman that interest will not be a personal interest, but an interest that serves the public who voted for them, who gave them their seats in the Senate. Let them be true to that vote of confidence of the people who put them in their position. So, back to your question, do I believe? I believe that they can be swayed.
Talaga?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will bet all of Ronald Llamas' fortune.
Nako.
That I am correct.
Nako. Hindi ata magandang bet yun.
That's not saying anything ba?
Wala. Pwede siguro i-bet all his dating opportunities. Yon.
But that's nil. That's zero.
Sabi niya marami.
Well, hope springs eternal. Yan ang theme ng gabi natin. Hope springs eternal. And I'm still full of hope.
Ito pala, Attorney Lorna, tanongin ko na rin yung can you talk about the interplay between the impeachment trial and the cases that will be presented then with the other parallel criminal cases or complaints against the Vice President? Paano ba yung relasyon nun?
It's totally separate siya, because rules on impeachment and even in the Constitution, an impeachment case will not bar a filing of a criminal case in the Sandigan Bayan or the filing of an administrative case or the filing of a civil case for recovery of plundered monies. No? So, hindi mutually exclusive yan. Pwede nga isabay-sabay. And that's the other thing. If there is an acquittal, nothing will bar anybody from filing a case. As somebody has filed in the NBI, a case on the threat to assassin and on inciting to sedition. May na-file sa NBI. So that does not, and it did not get dismissed. So you can really file multiple cases. In fact, dapat yung mga linait-lait natin, the people that she insulted during the campaign, should file cases against her. That's libel. And she should not be immune from libel cases, whether it be cyber libel or slander or she was campaigning in the provinces. For instance, she was in Batangas and she invented the story against Congresswoman Luis Tro, whose husband allegedly was charged with rape, and that they did not pay the lawyer's fees of about 8 million. 9 million tapos naging 8 million. Because she was campaigning in Batangas, which was where Congresswoman Luis Tro was running. It is a reckless disregard for truth. And that is the definition of libel. Malicious imputation and reckless disregard of the truth.
Okay, so pwede mag-file ng case?
Pwede mag-file ng case. Slander, libel, madami yan. Oral defamation. In fact,
diba yung si Congressman Joel Chua yata yun? Yung sinabi niya, isaksak mo sa lalamunan mo yung mansanas.
Pwede mag-file. Tapos yung sinabing liig or something.
Okay,
Something
masyadong
about
malaki.
masyadong malaking liig. Lahat nga ng kaaway niya, kasi in law, these are called ad hominem arguments. You attack the person. You don't attack a principle. You don't attack his opinions. And she cannot say that this is part of freedom of expression. It is not. It is not part of free speech. Free speech ends where the rights of the other person are abridged. The right to dignity, the right to privacy, the right to safe space. Yun lahat, no? So, free speech is not licensed to destroy other people's reputation. It is not licensed to spread distortions of truth. Eh, yan ang ginawa niya. Reckless disregard. Para bang yung mga, like for instance, hindi na natin maintindihan. Remember, there was this, yung mga road accidents. There was this incident in, where was it, in Canada? Nung meron nagwala, drove through a crowd celebrating Lapu-Lapu Day. Hindi mo maintindihan. You cannot understand what is the motive. So, that's the same what she's doing. She's like a vehicle. Parang sasakyan na nawalan ng preno. Wala nang pakialam sinong masasagasaan or sinong mamamatay. Kasi, words can kill. Words destroy reputation. Yun ang ginagawa niya. A reckless disregard of the truth and malicious imputation of crime. Of crimes. Yun ang ginagawa ng PP natin. So,
Finally, attorney, kasuhan.
Kasi lahat ng mga congressman o yung mga mayors o yung mga binanatan niya ng kasinungalingan, my advice is, kasuhan niyo kung wala kayong abogado. Punta kayo dyan sa senador, nagbibigay mga senador daw, nagbibigay ng mga free legal aid. Singilin niyo.